Hey there, this is Matt, and thanks for tuning in to part 3 of my Let's Play World of Horror series. So the last mystery that we solved was Chilling Chronicle of a Crimson Cape, which involved a game that was kind of similar to like a Bloody Mary type thing that the kids at school were playing, unwittingly summoning the supernatural entity that was murdering them. That one was a pretty rough chapter in this playthrough. The best way to beat him is to chat with other students in the schoolyard and find out a rumor that lets you sort of avoid kind of a trap going into that fight. I wasted a lot of time trying to do that unsuccessfully, which unfortunately brought our Doom counter up pretty high. Although thankfully, you do get a special item for defeating that boss, Akamanto, in the less optimal way, which is the Crestfallen Mask. In case you're just tuning in and wondering why the character looks so weird. But the good thing about this item is that it reduces Doom by 10%, which we really, really needed. So we're in okay shape. Not great, but okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the next mystery, Far Out Fable of the Fear Festival. Your aunt had sent you a letter inviting you for a curious-sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree. You need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter, there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen, you ask yourself as you board the bus. So this one is broken up by days. Today's goal, explore the weird village. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village, and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. A fat man wearing dusty overalls approaches you. It's the inn owner who promised to pick you up. Following close behind him, your eyes are drawn to his hands, which are so deformed they resemble claws more than hands. So even though it said that our objective for the first day is to explore the weird village, I'm actually just going to head to the inn. I'm going to use the whole first day literally just to rest, because we got pretty messed up during the last mystery, and a lot of the exploration in this part is... Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. Check out the painting. I'm not going to do that yet, though, because I really, really need to rest. I need to... My reason isn't in terrible shape, but we got beat up pretty bad last mystery, so I'm gonna hit the onsen, which is a great way to recover 2 stamina. Hot spring feels great. Finally, you can relax for a bit and enjoy the warm water. Let's do that at least 2 more times. Oh, and the description for the inn. The inn's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table, but for now, yeah, we're just gonna hit the hot springs again. And we're running out of time on the first day, but you know what? Let's do it one more time. Okay, so that's the end of the first day. We're on day 2 now. Today's goal, learn more about the festival itself. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed when suddenly, the moon comes from behind the thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind the trees. What was that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Should you follow them into the forest, or try to find more information about the... I literally can't read that word. It's like white on white. Okay, so it's now day 2. I really do need to get on with investigating pretty fast, but I'm gonna rest a couple more times. So the hot spring, the onsen, gives you +2 stamina, but if you select relax a bit, you get +1 to both stats. I'm actually gonna do that twice. And now that our stamina's at 17, reason's at 16, finally we're in semi-decent shape. So ignoring the weird village, and the festival itself, as much as I'd like to show you guys those, we really needed that rest. So let's go straight for the forest. And as you can see, I still got my free NPC followers with me. So that's not good. We got this random event, Vital Clue. The investigation's starting to take a toll on you. You start to miss the most obvious leads. +5 Doom. Yeah, we're not doing great on Doom this playthrough, but I'm still optimistic. Today's goal? Question mark. Going back to the inn, you overhear 2 masked villagers. They're talking about something awakening up at the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. It's not safe here. You decide to block the entrance to your room with a nightstand. Festival's ending tomorrow, and you can't be too careful. You know what? I'm gonna rest one more time. Just because we can. And on this mystery, the reason I really wanted to do this one next is that you can rest all you want, and it doesn't really incur a huge doom penalty. But right now, we're investigating the forest, and we ran into a trapped dog. We also leveled up, which I'm going to attend to in a moment. In the forest, you hear faint whimpering in the distance. When you find it, you discover a wild dog held by a hind leg in a bear trap. The dog growls menacingly when you get closer. I gotta help the dog. I don't have a choice here. Luck check failure. You free the dog, but the rusty mechanism snaps, and the trap closes on your hand. I regret nothing. That cost us 2 stamina, though. Let's go ahead and level up. So we have 3 perks available this time, and like I mentioned in the last video, these are randomly selected. We've got Leadership, which gives +1 Charisma, Folklore Studies, which gives +1 Knowledge, and Running Shoes, which gives you a smaller doom penalty from running from combat. Although if you remember which old god we selected, we can't run from combat anyway, so this is literally useless. I'm going to go with the Charisma upgrade, and as far as stats go, I'm going to boost Dexterity. The weapon I'm using is a Dexterity-based weapon, and the higher my Dexterity, the better I do in fights. Right now, we only have one option, and the flavor text is asking, why is it so quiet all of a sudden? So now we're going to explore the festival, because we literally don't have any other options. Is that blood? Where is everybody? Today's goal, find the missing people. Trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to an outskirting village. Somewhere in the dark forest, there's an answer waiting for you. So yeah, at this point, we're in this creepy looking forest that from the air looks a little bit like a weird face a little bit. You have 2 options. You can either rest or explore the forest, although we only have 4 actions available until sunrise, and we really want to get this done before that happens, so I'm not going to rest anymore unless I absolutely have to. We got another Vital Clue event, which we just saw a few minutes ago, giving us another +5 Doom. Again, we're not doing very well on that front. You follow the faint sound to a telephone line pole. The moment you notice giant hairy balls underneath it, they start to twitch and rise. I don't know if that was meant to be funny, but I had to laugh. So we're fighting Totoro, not to be confused with My Neighbor Totoro, and this is another enemy that does doom damage, because the game apparently really wants to fuck with us. So let's go ahead and lay into this guy. Thankfully, because my actions are so fast because of my boosted dexterity and the fast swimmer perk I took, he's only going to have a chance to hit us once, and adding 1 to the doom counter isn't really that big of a deal, but at this point, I would really like to avoid doom as much as possible. So let's keep exploring the forest. Hidden cults. Dark forces scheme against you. You don't know who you can trust anymore. So we've gained yet another curse. If you recall, before we had branded, chance of raising doom each investigation, just because apparently this playthrough really wants to kill us by filling up the doom meter, and we've just gotten panicked. minus 10% chance to all combat actions. Thankfully, the way I play the game, this one doesn't really matter, because I always do the prepare move, which makes your attacks guaranteed hits anyway, so it could be a lot worse. An abandoned factory, this must be the place they took everyone. So we were able to discover the destination before we ran out of time, that's always good. But we are captured. While exploring the factory, you're caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. Tied up, they bring you to the cult leader. We knew you'd come, you hear a raspy voice. Your aunt's voice, coming from behind the priest's weird mask. Well, now we know why she insisted we come out here. She signals towards the door behind him. Our master's waiting for a final blood sacrifice. And the only option we have right now is to struggle. And that thing's popping up. But thankfully we're rescued. With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing their shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out are the beams of flashlights and I assume it's supposed to say handful of police officers saving you from, oh no, the hand of a police officer saving you from the fall. Later that day, detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual, blood, and eldritch being. Village is abandoned with no trace of blood anywhere. You are the only one seeing the ancient horror. So once again, nobody believes you. But the good news is that we solved the mystery successfully, and because we reached that factory in time, we got the thorough investigation experience point bonus. So that's good. While you couldn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate them, the people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual in time. Well, what would have happened is we still would have won. We just wouldn't have gotten an extra experience point bonus. And as with every other mystery completion, our doom counter drops by 4%, which I think we can manage at this point, but I'm still concerned. So the random event that we get this time, roads closed. Roads leading out of town were closed by the police. You'll have to find a new way out. I have to admit, I don't know what that one actually does, but we've been having decently good luck with those random events. Some of them really mess with you, but so far nothing too bad has happened. And of course we collected our key. Let's hop in the bath. My stats are actually in surprisingly good shape at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to take a full bath, get that extra point of reason, and let's take a look at the mystery board. We've only got 2 left. Vicious Verses of a Violent Vigil, and Horrible History of Household Hell. The next one I'm going to do is what I call sort of a dungeon-style mystery. Dungeon in the RPG sense, where everything happens at this one specific location. We don't have access to the city map. We're not able to go back home and rest and heal up. We're not able to go to shops for items, but thankfully it's a pretty short one and a pretty easy one. So I'm actually going to be saving the hardest one for last. Thanks again for watching, and I'll have more World of Horror for you guys soon.